So for today's mystery stamping, we have the clues here in front of me, and then I have my bits and pieces that I'm going to use right here. Oh my, I'll probably use a different ribbon because I don't find it right here. Okay, my card base, I always leave that. Oh, let me switch this. There we go. Oh, sorry about that. There. Technology and trying to figure things out this morning. All right, so it's mine's a 5.5 by 8.5, but I leave that up to you, and then I put what I'm using. So that is my card base. I'm just gonna scoot this on down. That's my card base. And then I have another piece of basic white or vanilla, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I've embossed it. And the embossing folder that I used is the Pressed Flowers embossing folder. And then I have some coordinating cardstock, and it is 3 inches by 4 1/4. And then I have another piece that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then my DSP is 2 3/4 by 4. Then I have some, these are die cuts, and they come from the Unbounded Love dies. And the Unbounded Love stamp set is what I was going to use for my sentiment, but I cannot find it. I keep looking everywhere, and I know it's right here near my desk, but I can't find it. So I did look and find a couple different stamp sets that I could use for this little tag right here. And so, and then ribbon, 10 to 12 inches. And I had it, oh, I put it away. Not usually wanting to put my stuff away, but today I did. All right, so I have that, and then the ink that I'm using is the, I'll make certain I get it right, Blackberry Bliss. This is Blackberry Bliss, and this is Granny Apple Green, my two colors that I'm using. So it seems awful dark. That doesn't change anything. I have my lights all on, so, oh, I know why it's dark there. The camera light wasn't on. All right, so those are our clues. Here are my bits. And the ribbon, you need about 10 to 12 inches. So I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to cut my ribbon. Before I forget, I have a ruler on my desk that goes across the bottom of my desk here. That's how I know about how much I've got in ribbon. All right, so there's the ribbon. So I'm going to grab this. This is my card base in my bone folder here. And I want to make certain it's lined up. I know that it's not. I can see that it's not. So I'm lining up my edges, even though I scored it. Just going to burnish it how I want it. And then it is laying flat. My DSP that I'm going to use today is the, oh gosh, Celebratory Sips. Doesn't look like that, but, and then, let's see. Oh, the ribbon is the Mossy Meadow Gold Trim ribbon. That's it. I tried to tell you what what supplies I'm using, so if you want to recreate it. All right, so we are going to take our embossed piece, And we're going to lay it on our card base. I just love this embossing folder. It's pretty on the cardstock. I use liquid glue because it is raised up, so not as much of the card will be touching the card base because it's popped up. And I like using glue so that I know it's good and adhere. Oops, just knocked that. And so this is tone on tone, even though I'm just gluing it down. You can still see that, and it gives it some more texture. So you can still see that around. And I've got fuzzies on there. There we go. And if you use glue, you can slip it into the area that you want. Instead, it's a ribbon from yesterday. Instead of if it's a stamp and seal or something like that, once you put it down, it's pretty much down. All right, so we are going to add our Blackberry Bliss to our Granny Apple Green. And then we're going to bring in the paper cutter. Just a heads up on that. I'm not gluing it down yet. So don't work ahead thinking that that's what you need. Okay, so we have that. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my ink, my Blackberry Bliss. There. I have that, the ribbon thing. I can't seem to get it. And I have one that is a sentiment. There we go. That is it's a sympathy one, but it's so small. And I haven't used this one yet, so I'm going to try it. I didn't even put the sticker on it yet. And see if I've got it on here fairly straight. And to see if I think that it would work. It seems awfully small to me. So I'm going to try my thinking of you. So this is what I do if I'm not certain about which sentiment to use. Now this one's straight. That one looks a little bit bigger, and I think it'll fit on there. I could go ahead because I have two of them. I'm going to stamp one on each so that I could decide when I put the card together. It doesn't really look so bad once it's on there. It just looked like it was going to be awfully small. See if this will fit. I think it will. And it does. So now then I have choices to my sentiment once we have it put together. All right. So I'm going to bring in my paper cutter. And we are going to take our DSP and we're going to trim it down. And we're going to trim just a second. Okay, so I'm going to turn it upside down, and I want to take two, nope. Oh my goodness. For whatever reason, I did not write that part down. And I did this a while ago. I think I want to take one and an eighth off. Okay, so right, there's a glare, so there. 1 and an eighth, like that. And then that leaves me with, let's see, 1 and 5/8. So what I think I'm going to do is do 1 1/2 from the, take that off the top like that. So you can do whatever measurements that you want, just as long as you cut portion off the left and then the right portion is cut in half, like 2 pieces, not in half. It doesn't quite look the same if you cut it in half. All right, so now then we're going to add that to our card front. And you're going to dry fit your pieces and keep them in order. Kind of like that. Oh, I know. I also took just a smidge, so a 1/16 or an 1/8 off the bottom for the, to make the gap in between the two. Forgot about that. I made these clues several weeks ago, and I already made my sample then also. And so I've got to remember what I did. You want to take it off the bottom because you don't want to mess up your design. Now let's try that again. So that goes there. This one goes there. Because you want your top and the bottom to line up. That's a little bit more like it. All right, so I know it'll fit now. And I'm going to add glue to the back. So you start out with the DSP as one size. You need to do that. And then you cut the left side to whatever strip size that you want. You can do a little bit larger. I like doing a little bit smaller because I want to have a little bit larger on the right side. So there's that. And then you just cut the right side into 2 different sizes of DSP. And the top portion, it looks best if the top portion is the smaller piece, because then if you do it the opposite way, it looks too heavy and upside down. Not that you're putting the DSP on upside down, it just looks too heavy from having the larger piece on top. I hope that makes sense, that I'm explaining that well. Okay, so there is that. So if you aren't catching this live, thank you for watching the replay. Okay, now I'm sliding this into place, and then by cutting that away, I can line up the bottom and still have a little gap. Not pretty having that little bit there, so you have a little border all the way around. So you can't just cut that off beforehand, because then you'd also be cutting this one off. So you have to cut the left off, then cut that in half, and then trim your bottom one off just a little bit. Okay, so now then we are going to wrap this around this left side, and we're going to tie a faux bow. When I mean faux bow is I'm going to crisscross it, bring this up, and crisscross the opposite direction. I'm going to use reverse scissors, or it's not scissors, tweezers. There we go. So there's that. Then I'll crisscross like that. If I'm not on camera, I can usually do it without the tweezers, but on camera it seems to not go the way I want it to. Hi, Miss Marianne. I'm glad you're liking the pattern, and thank you for joining me. Oops. It's a simple pattern, but it gives quite a bit of wow because it just gives it some elements. All right, so we're going to bring this in, and I need some dimensionals. I'm starting to run out on this one, but that's okay. I'm going to line that up pretty well. Now I'm going to put dimensionals over the ribbon just so that it'll stay put. And then grab some of these others. I like using all the edges. And that's another one finished. Okay, I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool because I've been having a lot of trouble getting a hold of these, whoops, the packings. Didn't have that pressed down well. So you need to make certain they stick. I don't know how a lot of times they do this so quick, because like that one there I missed. There we go. And we're going to add this to our card front. I just love that detail. Ink. I have ink on my finger. Like that. All right, so now then I need to decide. I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. Oh, I got some more here. And I was showing a while back that I've been seeing people with, they've been using the Stampin' blends and drawing lines through all the dimensionals. And I was trying to figure out why they were doing that. And now I know. When you put it on your cardstock, oops, that one's not it, like that, and say you go to take the backing off and you don't catch it, you see that there's a red mark and you know you did not get the backing. I had no idea that's what they were doing, but I guess that's a pretty good idea. So I'm going to bring this and put it, I'm just going to lay it. I'm not going to actually adhere it. Do I want, oh, I need to get a little closer to the other way. Do I want thinking of you? Or do I want a sympathy card? I just think that that sympathy is just too small on that larger piece of my tag. But if my tag was any smaller, it wouldn't look right either. So I'm going to go with the thinking of you. Let's see if when I center it, I think that'll look good. So I'm going to press that there. And then I'm going to grab my glue, and right here just in the center, I'm going to add some glue. And then I'm going to grab my little dimensionals, and on this side and this side, I'm just going to add some. Hopefully I put this one down far enough. Oh my goodness, I cannot talk today. So I'm going to take that right over that cute little circle and press that down. And then that is our card. Isn't that really cute how that turned out with that embossing? That gives it some texture. Cutting these pieces apart gives it more texture with the ribbon added to it. And then with the stitching around that circle that's behind the sentiment, that all of this gives it more texture and gives it more interest. And so I really hope that you like this card. I love how it turned out. And then this is the one that I had made ahead of time. And so I made this one narrower than I did here. And then I changed, I think the height might be about the same on that. But you can do it however you want. You trim some off, and then you cut the other side into 2 pieces. Just make certain that they are not equal pieces. I mean, I guess you probably could, but I think it looks more eye-catching if they're 2 different sizes. So I have a sympathy and I have a thinking of you. So I want to thank you for joining me, and I sure hope that you enjoyed this card. And if you did, give me a like for this card and leave me a comment. And if you're on YouTube watching this, then subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell icon so that you catch my next video. We will have mystery stamping again in 2 weeks, and I believe that's on September the 4th. And so I hope to see you then. But until next time, happy stamping.